Hey, how's it going, everyone? Here's a review on two recent knife acquisitions. These are the Emerson A-100 and the Emerson Mini A-100. I've been really interested in Emerson knives lately. I really like the simplicity of just the simple G10 titanium liners, or actually one titanium liner on the lock side and a stainless steel on the other side, as well as just a simple 154 cm blade. This one is the tactical coated black blade for both of them, actually, on the Mini and the regular. But I did want to try these knives out. I was able to get some really good deals on them, and I wanted to compare them to some kind of paired knives that I collected over some time. The small Sebenza and the large Sebenza, as well as my Strider S&G. These are CC models, and an SMF. Obviously the S&G, I think a good size comparison would be the S&G and the PT, but these are the ones that I have right now, the SMF CC and the S&G CC, which I'll do reviews on a little bit later. But I wanted to check out these knives and see what they're all about, as I'm a big fan of Emerson knives now. Especially one of my favorite knives so far in my collection is this Mini Emerson Cqc 15. I really enjoy this Tonto shape and this recurve, and I've been collecting Emersons now for some time, and it's been a company that's been growing on me in terms of the collection. So the A100 and the Mini A100, and I wanted to compare especially with the Sebenza and the large Sebenza, as their specs are very similar to one another. Obviously the materials on the Emersons aren't as nice or as expensive as the Sebenza. These two are ones with micarta inlays. The blade steel on the Sebenzas obviously these are the newer ones with the S35 VN. So 154 cm also, pales in comparison in terms of, I guess, the reputation of the steel. But if you're just using them as normal EDCs and stuff like that, 154 cm, as long as you can sharpen it, I had problems sharpening it before, but as long as you can sharpen it, it is a great steel. So that's why I haven't had any issues with Emersons. I also have been enjoying the Chisel Grind, or in this sense, this is the conventional V grind, as you can see, hopefully. As you can see in the blade shape, conventional V grind, but it's still sharpened on, it's got a secondary bevel on one side here, and then this side is not sharpened at all, so this is flat on that grind. But I did want to, in particular, again, wanted to do comparisons between these knives because, I believe Emerson and Strider and Chris Reeve are all high-end knives that people have been collecting over some time. And so just doing some comparisons between these knives. The Strider obviously is a 3.5 inch blade. I'm not going to go into the overalls, just what I know and just what hopefully you can just see this in the video. The Sebenza, I believe, has a 3.625 inch blade, and the Emerson is a 3.6 inch blade. Here with the Mini A100 you have a 3-inch blade, and then for the small Sebenza you have a 2.95 inch blade. You can see on here that the handle on the A100, Mini A100 is slightly longer than the small Sebenza, but the blade is a little bit longer. So obviously on the Emersons you have the G10, very, very grippy G10, as well as the jimping on top here. I think the jimping on the Emersons, well, actually, you know what, on a lot of Emersons, when it has that thumb ramp here, I find that the jimping isn't all that grippy. But on this A100, the jimping seems to be very grippy. More grippy than the Sebenza, really, if you're digging in. And The Strider, I think, is really hard cut, so it really grips into your thumb. I think even better than the Emerson. To do some thickness comparisons, this will help you to get a gauge on how thick the handles are on the Emerson. So even with the micarta inlays, the small Sebenza is it seems quite a bit thinner. Emersons tend to be pretty chunky in terms of the thickness of the handles. So I think that's one thing that's good about the Sebenza and even the Strider CC. With the thinner profile, it fits your pocket pretty well. Because these G10 scales are really chunky, or really grippy, I'm sorry, it fits in the pocket just fine. I don't really have any issues with it, but you definitely feel it more than when the Sebenza and Strider are sitting inside your pocket. Even against the CQC 15, I believe the handle is a little bit thicker, if I can line them up here. The A100's on the top here. I believe it's a slightly thicker than the CQC Mini 15. Overall, I just got these knives today, so I can't really give a great in terms of usage experience. They feel like great knives. They feel like because they are a couple $100 cheaper than the Sebenzas. They seem like a great replacement for if you're collecting a large Sebenza and a small Sebenza. These would fit just fine in your collection, and they would work great in terms of everyday EDC knives. Some people love Emersons. One reason that I love Emerson, I love the deployment of this thumb disc. Most of the Emersons outside of the CQC 10 maybe use this thumb disc here, and I think it just works great in terms of deployment. Very quick deployment. These pivots and everything is really tight right now, so it's not really broken in. The liners here, these titanium liners are really sticky, but over time I know it's going to start wearing down, and it'll be really comfortable to hold. So this is now my fourth and fifth Emerson, I believe. I have a CQC 7V, which at first I thought was really thick as well and uncomfortable in the hand, but it's a knife that grew on me. Obviously, Sebenza, in terms of fit and finish, I don't know if you can ever beat it. The Striders also, this Strider that I have has some of that little up and down blade play, minor, but it's still there. But these Emersons are on par with, I won't say on par with the Sebenza. You can see the spacing in there between the pivot and the blade tang and the scales, the liners. There's a large gap in there where those bushings are compared to the Sebenza. The fit and finish on the Sebenza is always going to be above and beyond any other production knife that I've ever encountered. But when you're talking about mid-$100 level to $200 level for Emersons versus $400 plus to near $500 for an inlaid Sebenza, you kind of get what you pay for. But these knives as everyday workhorse knives, I think would be great. So yeah, that's just a quick review, size comparison of all these knives. This is my SMF CC in terms of size comparison to the regular A100. So anyway, so this is a quick look of the Emerson A100 and the Mini A100. Hopefully, maybe if I get a chance to test out these knives, I'll be able to give a more comprehensive review of it. But I hope you enjoyed just seeing the perspective between these different knives, and hope that you can comment and subscribe, and just let me know what you think about these knives. Alright, thanks a lot. Bye.